received an interesting piece of mail last week just before leaving for vacation. It said, Real ID is coming. Are you ready? It's from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Right away, a bunch of bells and whistles went off for me, trying to figure out exactly what this was. I have my suspicions. We'll talk about that in a minute. Morning Truth Seekers, Dennis Nappy II here with 6 Cents Media. And this is something interesting. We're seeing a shift, a gradual shift. It's not a surprise as we're seeing this, where this is going here, but Real ID, what is it? I did a little digging and I pulled, I'll show you a screen share here from the Department of Homeland Security's website. And Real ID, what is it? Passed by Congress in 2005, the Real ID Act enacted the 9/11 Commission's recommendation that the federal government set standards for the issuance of sources of identification, such as driver's licenses. We're setting standards for how we can be identified. The Act established minimum security standards for state-issued driver's licenses and identification cards and prohibits federal agencies from accepting for official purposes licenses and identification cards from states that do not meet these standards. States have made considerable progress in meeting this key recommendation of the 9/11 Commission, and every state has a more secure driver's license today than before the passage of the Act. So we're going back to 9/11, where this kind of all started here. Is this a national ID card? That's a very good question. We're going to come back to that in a minute here. Let's look at the next screen I have. Let's see. This is an important question. Is the DHS trying to build a national database with all of our information? As a truth seeker, as a conspiracy nut, some of you may call me, that's my first go-to. So of course, here's what they're telling us. No, Real ID is a national set of standards, not a national identification card. Real ID does not create a federal database of driver license information. Each jurisdiction continues to issue its own unique license, maintains its own records, and controls who gets access to those records and under what circumstances. The purpose of Real ID is to make our identity documents more consistent and secure. So they want these identity documents to be consistent and secure, meaning even though each individual state will control who has access to it, the data will be able to be read by everybody. I'm assuming here, if it's consistent there. I wonder, although they're not creating a national ID, I wonder, does that mean that this is a precursor to that because the infrastructure will already be in place? You really have to think about that. I've been working in cryptocurrencies with the CryptoViewing team for the past several months, and what we're seeing is a new currency system that's coming online, cryptocurrencies. The fiat, the dollar, is going away, and we're creating what's called a digital identity. You can find a lot more information at the CryptoViewing team website. I'll have the links for you that you can check out. I recommend looking at Dick Allgire's page as well as YouTube page. He's got a lot of great information on there. But we're looking at the creation of a digital identity, digital currency. Everything is going to be digital. A better way to identify us and to track us. How? Well, you got to have your cell phone with everything that you do. Your cell phone has a GPS, geolocating, knows everywhere you go, everything you buy, everything you search for, everything you're interested in. It's creating our digital thumbprint, our digital footprint. This identification, this Real ID, may be another part of something like that, creating your digital, your virtual identity so they can know who you are. Now, we need to ask ourselves, if you're rebellious in spirit like me, will this benefit me to reject it and to avoid it? Well, probably not. This is coming in a real way between cryptocurrencies and Real ID. Right now, they're just limiting it to you won't be able to get on an airplane and you won't be able to enter any federal facilities. I'm sure that's going to change. And eventually you're not going to have a choice. You have to have identification. I wonder what that's going to look like as we move forward. An interesting comparison, something I'm thinking about as I'm going through all this right now. You have to have your Real ID card right now just to travel and to enter a federal facility. Is that going to change? I don't know. And we're looking at this digital monetary system that we're going towards. And I'm thinking about, not to get biblical here, but Revelation here. What's it say? And that no man may buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast, or number of his name. Now again, I'm not saying that the end times are coming here, but I think that's an interesting correlation here. We're creating this digital identity, and without that digital identity, humans being the beast, identifying us as such, we will not be able to engage in this marketplace. And as I get into in Food for the Archons, yes, here's my plug, the big question I ask is, who are we? And I think we need to understand that first. Who are we? What is our role in this, on this planet and in this universe? And if we start to understand that, the other pieces start to fall into place as to the reason why things like Real ID and cryptocurrency are coming online. We need to understand who we are and understand this system in order to better navigate it. That's a lot to think about, my friends. I'd love your comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As you know, that helps me out tremendously. But what are your thoughts on Real ID and some of the connections that we talked about here? I'm Dennis Nappy II with 6 Sense Media. Remember to never stop questioning, keep an open mind, and let your intuition be your guide. Thanks for watching.